All right, let's talk about something that gives almost every student a headache: citations. You've done all the hard work, you've got these brilliant ideas, and then, bam, you hit the referencing wall. Well, in this explainer, we're going to decode that secret language. We're turning academic citation from a chore into one of your most powerful research tools.
Oh yeah, we have all been there. You're just staring at a page full of brackets and dates and last names, wondering if you're ever going to get it right. It can feel so random and honestly, super frustrating. But what if I told you there's a really simple, kind of elegant system hiding underneath all of it?
Before we jump into the how, let's just quickly talk about the why. See, citations are basically your academic backbone. They're the proof you've done your homework. They're a respectful nod to the thinkers who paved the way for you. And maybe most importantly, they're how you officially step into that huge, ongoing conversation of human knowledge. They're what gives you credibility.
Okay, here's the most important thing I want you to take away from this. Forget trying to memorize 100 different little rules. Seriously, almost every single citation style out there boils down to one simple core idea: a two-part system that connects a tiny little marker in your text to a full entry at the very end. That's it.
And this slide shows it perfectly. On the left, you've got what I call the in-text pointer. It's just a quick little signpost: author's last name and the year. Then on the right, you have the full address. This lives in your reference list at the end and has all the info anyone would ever need to find that exact source. See how it works? The pointer in the text leads you directly to the full address in the back. Simple, right?
So let's zoom in on that first part, the in-text pointer. This is the thing you'll be sprinkling throughout your paper as you bring in ideas and evidence from all the research you've done.
You've basically got two flavors to choose from here. On the left, we have author prominent, where you actually make the author a part of your sentence. Cochrane 2007 concluded that. This really puts the focus on the researcher. But on the right, you've got information prominent, where you state the fact first and then you just drop the citation at the end. This obviously puts the emphasis on the finding itself. Both are totally correct, it just depends on what you want to emphasize in your sentence.
Now, what happens when you have a source with multiple authors? The system has a really simple way to handle that too. If there are two authors, you always list both their names. But for three or more, you list all of them the very first time you mention them. After that, though, you get to use this handy little shortcut: the first author's name followed by et al. That's just Latin for and others, and it keeps your writing looking clean and uncluttered.
Okay, so everything we've talked about so far is for when you're paraphrasing someone's ideas. But what if you want to use their exact words? Well, that's where quoting comes in, and the rules change just a little bit, depending entirely on how long the quote is.
For short quotes, and that means anything under 40 words, it's super easy. You just weave it right into your own sentence and wrap it in quotation marks. The only thing you add to your little in-text pointer is the page number, so your reader can find the exact spot you're talking about. See? Author, year, page number. That's it. Done. But for the longer quotes, the big ones, 40 words or more, you give them their own stage. You start it on a new line, you indent the entire block of text, and you don't use any quotation marks. This whole block format is a big visual signal to your reader that, hey, these aren't my words, and the citation just sits there at the end, nice and neat, with the page number.
All right, we have totally mastered the in-text pointer. Now let's talk about where all those pointers lead. We're moving on to the reference list. That's the full address section at the end of your paper where every single source you mention gets its complete entry.
Let's break down a book reference. Think of it like a simple recipe. First, you start with the author, last name first. Then, the year it was published goes in parentheses. After that, you've got the title of the book, which is always italicized. And you finish it off with the location and the name of the publisher. That's the formula every single time.
Journal articles follow a really similar rhythm. You've got your author and year, then the title of the article itself. Now here's the key difference. The journal title and the volume number are both italicized. That's followed by the issue number in parentheses, and you finish up with the page numbers. The example on the slide here puts it all together so you can see how it looks.
So, now that we have the core system down pat, let's tackle a few of those weird, tricky little situations that always seem to pop up and cause confusion.
Okay, what do you do if you're citing two totally different researchers who just happen to have the same last name, like Smith? Simple. In your in-text pointer, just include their first initial. That immediately tells your reader that R. Smith is a different person from, say, C.J. Smith. No confusion necessary. Now, what if one author published a bunch of different things all in the same year? Again, easy fix. You just add a lowercase letter right after the year, A, B, C, and so on. In your reference list, you'll order them alphabetically by title, and that little letter makes sure each pointer in your text leads to the right address. And to be even more efficient, if you're referencing several works by the exact same author but from different years, you don't need to write a bunch of separate citations. Just put the author's name once and list the years in order, separated by a comma, all inside one set of parentheses. It's clean, it's efficient, it's great.
So, let's just bring it all back home. Don't get lost in all the little details. At the end of the day, it really is just this: a small pointer in your text that links directly to a full address at the end. If you can just remember that simple two-part relationship, you've already mastered the fundamental logic of all academic citation.
See? It's not some impossible secret language after all. It's a system, and it's a system designed for clarity. It's a tool for you to build your arguments and to share knowledge. Now that you've got these rules in your back pocket, the focus isn't on formatting anymore. It's on the amazing ideas that you're bringing to the table. So go on. What story are you going to tell?